Hey everyone, and welcome. We're about to spend the next few minutes building up the defenses for your digital life. Now, I want you to think about all your personal info, your photos, your messages, all your accounts, as treasure. And it's all stored inside your very own digital castle. Today, we're going to learn how to build the walls, post the guards, and make sure that treasure is safe. Let's dive in.
So let me just ask you straight up, how safe is the stuff you're looking at on your screen right now? I'm talking about your emails, your files, your browser history. It's so easy to just take it all for granted, right? But the thing is, in the digital world, our castles are pretty much under constant attack. So the very first step to defending it is really understanding what it is we're trying to protect.
Okay, so protecting our castle all starts with understanding its three guardians. And no, these aren't just some techie buzzwords. They are the absolute core principles behind basically every data protection strategy out there. And this slide lays out our three guardians perfectly. So first up, you've got security. That's all about making sure the castle doesn't just crumble or get broken into. It's about protecting your data from being lost and from being accessed by the wrong people. Then there's privacy. This is about controlling who gets to even see the treasure inside. And finally, we have integrity. This one is super important. It makes sure that the treasure itself, your information, is accurate and hasn't been messed with. The bottom line is you absolutely need all three of these working together. Every good castle has its enemies, and our digital one is no different. The siege is basically happening 24/7. So let's get to know the villains and their favorite tricks for trying to get past our walls. All right, first up, the most direct attack of them all, hacking. This is pretty much the digital version of a rogue army trying to smash down your castle gates. They're looking for illegal access, plain and simple. They just want to steal or corrupt whatever they can get their hands on. And hackers? They almost never show up empty-handed. They bring their tools, and that whole nasty toolbox of malicious software is what we call malware. It's literally any piece of software that's been specifically designed to just cause total chaos once it gets inside your system. And would you look at this rogues gallery? First, you've got your classic virus. It's like a parasite. It has to latch onto a host program to spread. Then you have the worm, which is even scarier. It's a standalone pest that can actually replicate and crawl across entire networks all by itself. Of course, there's the famous Trojan horse. That's the classic trick where a nasty program is disguised as something you actually want. And last but not least, spyware, the silent little assassin that just watches everything you do, sometimes even recording your keystrokes to steal your passwords. But listen, attacks aren't always about brute force. Sometimes the bad guys just try to trick you into opening the front gate for them. And that, my friends, is phishing. They'll send you an email that looks super official, hoping you'll fall for the disguise and just hand over the keys to the kingdom. So here's how that whole scam usually works. You get an email that looks really urgent, you click a link, and poof, you're sent to a fake website that looks totally legit. You type in your details, and they're gone. It's just a digital confidence trick. Hey, here's a little pro tip for you. Always hover your mouse over a link before you click it. It'll show you the real web address, and that alone can often reveal the scam in an instant. Now, let's talk about phishing's really evil twin, farming. This is way sneakier. Malicious code on your own computer can actually hijack your browser and send you to a fake site, even if you type the correct address into the address bar. So you think you're going to your bank's website, but you're really not. You're somewhere else entirely. All right, enough about the villains. We've met them. Now for the good part. How do we fight back? It is time to build our digital fortress, and we're going to use the right tools and strategies to keep our data locked down tight. Your absolute first line of defense is the firewall. I want you to think of this as the high stone walls of your castle. It stands right between you and the wild west of the internet, and it inspects all the traffic coming in and going out, and it blocks anything that just looks a little bit suspicious. So, if the firewall is the wall, then your antivirus software is the guards walking along the top of it. This software is constantly on patrol, scanning files and programs, comparing them to a most wanted list of known malware, and just taking out any threats that it finds. But even with great walls and vigilant guards, you still need a really strong lock on the treasure room itself, and that's your password. A strong, complex password is a pretty good key. And honestly, using a password manager is the easiest way to deal with them all. But an even better key? Biometrics. A key that is uniquely you, like your fingerprint or your face, is incredibly difficult for anyone to copy. Okay, so our castle is secure. Awesome. But what about the information that's actually inside?
This brings us all the way back to our third guardian, integrity. See, it's not enough for our data to just be safe. It also has to be correct. You can think of this as the job of the royal scribe, making sure every single record is absolutely perfect. So this scribe, they've got two main tools, validation and verification. Validation is basically an automated check that asks, hey, does this data even make sense? For instance, it'll check if an age is a number, not a word. Verification is a bit different. It asks, is this data actually accurate? It's all about confirming the data matches its original source, like when a website makes you type your new password in twice. And we see this kind of validation all the time when we're online. A range check is what stops you from entering an age like 200. Format, length, and presence checks are what make sure your email address actually looks like an email address, your phone number has the right number of digits, and you haven't forgotten to fill out a required field. These are all the little automated rules that keep our data sensible.
And here's how we actually verify it. You've definitely seen this stuff before. Double entry is simple. Just type your password twice to make sure there are no typos. A visual check is when the system just asks you, hey, does this all look correct to you, right before you hit submit? And then you've got clever little tricks like check digits in barcodes. It's a tiny bit of math that confirms the whole code was scanned or entered correctly.
So, if there's one thing to remember from all this, it's this. Protecting your digital castle isn't something you just do once. It's an ongoing process. It takes strong walls, it takes vigilant guards, and it takes a meticulous scribe, all working together all the time to keep your data both safe and accurate. And that leaves us with one final, pretty big question. The threats we face are always evolving. So in an era of AI-powered attacks and quantum computers that could probably crack today's locks in seconds, what do you think the next generation of digital fortresses will even need to look like? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for watching.